Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. Android 13 got his EZA. I believe this is the last, I guess, this is like the oldest Dokkan Fest that still has the EZA that I've not given a sticker to. Like all the other Dokkan Fest TURs, like the first one, like that doesn't have a sticker for me, would be, I guess it must be like some like 2017 character or something like that, right? Like that wouldn't have like an actual sticker attached to it because they've all like EZA'd and I've put them on. So from this point on, I'm not going to need them because like now we're going to be moving into, okay, like the next EZA is going to be, you know, in Gotenks, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, SDR Kefla, Tech Ultimate Gohan, Bojack, and those are characters I've already got stickers on, so. Alright, well anyway, Android 13, we gave him his sticker. I guess I can go over what I did in terms of his build. Now, I think Android 13 should be a character who his raw defense can actually be a little bit impactful when it comes to taking the AoEs from Fusion, Zamasu, or Omega. So I think if you give him defense, he could be a little bit more effective right now. But I would stress to people that it's kind of just like a right now type of thing. I guess to be fair, that's what EZAs usually are, though. They're not, EZAs are typically not made to survive the next meta power creep, right? Like maybe some Dokkan Fest or LRs can. EZA characters are not meant to do that. But I think with these extra defensive equips at level 7 and then that level 4 in the gold slot, that could probably just push him past the point where against Omega, you know, against Fusion Zamasu, like he should be able to hold up well. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll regret it. Who knows? Obviously, I gave him dodge. I mean, that's just no question whatsoever. Because it'd still be nice for him to be able to dodge and, you know, avoid some of these super attacks. I'm sure most people are just going to pile drive additional on him, which is not the worst idea ever because he does stack defense. So obviously, you know, him being able to utilize that more often would be nice. I guess let's just hop into an event and see how effective Android 13 is going to be. Now, remember, I mean, he has a condition basically on Android or target Goku, so you pick one of those two teams, and then hopefully be able to fight a Goku. But if not, he's not going to be quite as good. Alright guys, we are here in an event. We got our boy Android 13. Now, Android 13 again has got a couple of restrictions. I think we'll just start against just like, you know, typical sort of enemies right here. This is what we'll see in, you know, a majority of the difficult content right now. Dokkan has released missions for, what event do I want to say? The anniversary event. They recently added a mission to it, you know, as part of the 9th anniversary fan meetup thing. So because of that, it is certainly very, very, very possible that, you know, like they kind of like are like, yeah, use Android 13 for that, right? Because remember, he has this Goku restriction. He also does have a Super Saiyan restriction. Like, it's to get the Goku plus Super Saiyans restriction, like that's tough. There's not a ton of enemies. I mean, I think later in this video we're gonna go into the legendary Goku event to see it, but whatever. Okay, so 529 actually. Okay. I mean, sure. I guess this is with, I mean, wow, okay. I mean, remember Fusion Zamasu does 500 even, right? Like, okay. So I guess the defensive equips are actually a good idea. Now, this is with, you know, Android 13 does have a pretty good link set here. Red Ribbon Army, Android Assault, Metamorphosis, Big Bad Bosses, Nightmare, Fear and Faith, Fierce Battle. Let's see what it's like without Big Bad Bosses. I could click quickly. Damn, dude. That's the difference with no links. Look how much defense he gets from links. He goes from 341 all the way to 529. I mean, he basically has 200k defense added just from his links. This is such a thing mostly for villain characters where, you know, a lot of the Saiyans, you know, they're getting like Saiyan Warrior Race and experienced fighters and Super Saiyan. They're just all attack, 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 attack. But these villains, man, they got shit like Metamorphosis, Big Bad Bosses, Thirst for Conquest, right? Like, you know, Android Assault, you go down the line, huge defense. And, you know, HP regen, these types of things from their links. Crazy. All right, well, let's go. I mean, so before we get started here, too, remember that 13 does stack defense, right? Every super attack he does, he gets a 30% defensive stack. He does immense damage. He greatly lowers enemy defense, and then he has a high chance to stun. So he's doing a lot on his super attack effect. Obviously, lowering defense doesn't do anything, but a high chance to stun and defensive stacking is pretty good. That's why, like, people are just going to go, like, rock him full additional. Yeah, whatever. I mean, it makes sense, right? Attack is low, 6 million. But, I mean, remember, he is supporting, and, I mean, his start-of-turn defense is pretty good, at least. Because, remember, 13 is giving Android or target Goku category allies 3 key and 30% attack and defense. So, alright, there's the first turn. We did get a defensive stack in. Let's come back next turn and see what he looks like. Alright, so let's see what our defense is looking like now. So, we've had a turn where we did get a defensive stack, and then now we have 17 around. This is turn 2. I mean, this is heavily juiced, right? Like, we do have 21. Like, that in free-to-play 21, she oftentimes is not really good enough to run. It's close. This MVP 17, of course, is good enough to run, but, I mean, this does make Android 13 look decent. I mean, so many of these characters this year, why are they struggling? It's because, like, you know, all these major bosses that we've gotten, well, a lot of them, are doing these AoE attacks, and so many characters, it's like they're getting huge stats when they attack. 13 isn't really, and, like, one of the major reasons his damage is so low is that he doesn't have multiplicative buffs in his passive, right? He's only getting 130% attack and even start a turn, gets 130% attack and events if HP is 30% or more. That's a pretty favorable condition because I took a lot of damage last turn, but we're still good, right? Then he gives the Android and target Goku allies 3 key 30% attack and defense. His attacks are guaranteed to hit. That's mostly pointless. I guess against Tech Omega, he's going to guaranteed hit, but, like, he's going to do no damage against him anyway. Then he has an additional, has a high chance to be a super if there's a Goku enemy, and that's it. That's all he does from his passive. So his value truly is like, hey, look at me, I'm Mr. Start of Turn defense, right? Like, that's what he's doing. We were able to get Fierce Battle right there, but that's not really what we're doing here. So let's do this. So we will heal up nicely just from raw look at that. That's just the power of his raw defense giving us stats right there. So we'll get this super attack, and then we're going to go into the next rotation where 13 is going to automatically transform. That's the thing about additionals that can be very good, is that, you know, with, you know, hidden potential system additional or anything like that, we can, you know, get him to stack while he's still in base, because once we transform into Fusion Android 13, he no longer is getting any stacks at that point. Alright, so now Android 13 is transforming. Remember that 13 does have a passive transformation and not an active skill transformation like a lot of characters after him, right? Alright, so let's just see. Well, okay, yeah, we have a lot of support. Now, 16, 17, 18, obviously, I mean, they're the best unit on the team, right? So, they're going to be, like, definitely a realistic character that we can run in all these really, really tough fights. I guess we could just quickly go over 13 before we actually look at him, because 13 does not get defense the rest of, like, at all for the rest of the turn, right? Like, that's his defense. Let's see. So, super attack effect. He gets 50% attack for one turn, immense damage, massively lowers enemy defense, then a high chance to... The chance to stun is worthless. High chance to stun. There's, like, not really fights where it's, like, turn 5, turn 6, turn 7, and you're stunning. That's not a thing. He gets 3 key, 130% of stats, 145% attack and defense if HP is 30% or more. And he gets 13% attack and defense per target Goku or Android ally on the team. He has attacks guaranteed to hit, disables enemy guard. Launched an additional has a high chance to be a super. And then he gets 50% attack and a high chance to crit against a Super Saiyan enemy. Then 100% attack and a guaranteed crit against a Goku enemy. So, alright. I mean, this is pretty much it. I guess we can... What would be the smartest for us to do? I guess we could get away with this. There's no way 16, 17, 18 are going down that easy, right? All right, so 13. Let's see what you get for us, my guy. All right, we'll probably do this rotation. See the damage that Android 13 can get. Obviously, we see him, you know, well over 1 million defense, stuff like that. Then we can go ahead and jump over to, I think, a fight where we could see 13 do an attack against, like, a Goku and a Super Saiyan category Goku. I guess the one that comes to mind the quickest would be probably the blue Goku in the original Legendary Goku event, because it's the transforming Goku, so he's on Super Saiyan, he's on Super Saiyan 2, he's on Super Saiyan 3, he's on Realm of Gods, right? That's probably the best spot for us to do that. So I think that's where we'll go. There's the stun taking place. To me, the value for Android 13, he does seem like he'll be effective against the boss AoEs, actually. This is a character, to me, that seems as though he's intended to work against the AoEs, which is good. Nice dodge right there, perfect. We would much rather, at this point, have characters who are intended to work effectively against the AoEs than characters who are not going to work against them, right? So, we'll certainly take that. Alright, so we're in an event fighting a Goku enemy. So remember, Fusion 13, he gets a lot of attack power against a Goku enemy or, you know, Super Saiyan enemy. I mean, including guaranteed crits, right? Which certainly could do a lot of damage. Regular 13, what he gets is the additional. Now, the thing that I think is really stupid, it's really stupid, and I'm serious when I say it's really stupid. It's an additional has a high chance to be a super when we're going against Goku. Why can't it be a guaranteed super? Do we have a reason for that? Like, it seems ridiculous. So here we're at 487k defense. This is obviously no big bad bosses, but we do have a lot of support. Okay. We'll see. I'm very curious to see how we're gonna perform once we actually fight Fusion Zamasu, right? So we'll let this turn play out, and then we'll come back against one of these later phases, and we'll see what Fusion 13 is doing again against what is going to be a Super Saiyan category Goku. So there's that, and then the additional normal. Thank you, 13, so much. We do get the hidden potential system additional, though. Remember that, I guess, you know, even though we very well may have procced the hidden potential system additional, which is what we did right there, from the second attack, but I still do not understand why it's not guaranteed, considering it's against a particular type of enemy. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the next phase real quick. Okay, so now 13 is going to go ahead and transform. With 13 transformed, we'll be able to see his full power now going up against a Super Saiyan category Goku, which is exactly what we're fighting right here. So, alright, what's our defense on this rotation? He's at 1. Okay, so yeah, looking pretty good. This is without big bat, even without big bat bosses, he's still, like, approaching on 1 million. It's like, even though he's not getting any defense when he supers, I mean, his defense, like, just start of turn, this is truly, like, what to expect from, like, an EZA AGL, right? Where it's like, sometimes, in certain situations, these characters can handle, like, boss super attacks, you know, with conditions, essentially. But with this level of defense, there's no normals that's going to be hurting him. Maybe, I don't, even Physical Fusion Zamasu after supering, I don't think his normals would do damage to Android 13 in this situation, right? So because of that, 13, I mean, it's like he's not as bad as I've seen a lot of people say. It's just because he has so much defense at the start of turn. And I mean, in base, he's got all that defense at the start of turn, and he's a support. Like, he's fulfilling a role. Like, it's so funny. Very minor tweaks to 13, and he becomes a god, right? Like, very minor tweaks, and he becomes very insane. Alright, so we'll do this. We'll be able to see, again, 13 with major power right here. So remember that this Goku we're fighting is a Super Saiyans category enemy, and Goku is also a, he's a Super Saiyan enemy, and he's also obviously a Goku. So 13 is going to do this upcoming damage, and remember, it's going to be a guaranteed crit. This attack that 13's doing right here is a guaranteed crit, so it's going to do major damage. So let's see what we get right here. Here's 21. Yep, sure. Okay. And 13 gives us 10.9. Okay, okay. And then remember, he does have a built-in additional. I think he's probably going to kill Goku with just this one hit, but no, he's actually, okay, he's going to keep going. Then we jump up to 11.7. So it's like, you can see what 13 is doing. And this is, I mean, these are guaranteed crits. So he's punching above that as well. I think he's okay. He's really not special, but like he's usable. 13, like he is. Like if we're using either 16, 17, 18 Seam or Android 21 Seam or something like that, this is definitely a character that we could actually bring into these fights, man. He really is. Okay, so yeah, 13. I mean, we'll go do like a couple of runs against Fusion Zamasu and against Omega and stuff like that, but I do think 13 is actually going to be able to assist in those fights. I mean, I'm comfortable bringing 13 into Red Zone Fusion Zamasu. That has to mean something, right? For sure. Alright guys, so there was our boy Android 13. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the details and what our boy is doing here, right? So this right here, this is Faux Elimination Circuit, Android 13. Leader skills target Goku or Android category key 3 and 170% of stats. Super attack is the Deadly Crash, which stacks defense, does immense damage, greatly lowers enemy defense, and then has a high chance to stun. Stun certainly could be useful, maybe Super Battle Road or Battlefield or something like that. We can get value out of it. His passive skill, Power of Animosity. He gets 130% attack and defense at the start of turn. Then he gets 130% attack and defense when HP is 30% or more. Then he gives Android or target Goku category allies 3 key 30% attack and defense. His attacks are guaranteed to hit, which is mostly pointless. It's very uncommon for a boss dodging to be an issue. I don't think that it's... I could really only remember a few times ever, mostly original UI Goku, the legendary Goku event boss we were just fighting. He sometimes caused me to lose from dodging, but it was pretty much just him. I mean, the Red Zone Omega and the Shadow Dragon event Omegas both have dodge, but their dodge isn't high enough, I think, for it to be very impactful. At least I haven't encountered it yet. Then 13 launches an additional, has a high chance to be a super if there's an enemy whose name includes Goku. And he transforms when conditions are met. I do think that additional should have just been in base, and then he should have just gotten a guaranteed additional super against Goku. So against the Goku enemy, what I think he should have is, super. He'd have the 50% super, he'd have his guaranteed super, and then he could do hidden potential system. So, this should have been a guaranteed super just with Goku, and I think he should have just had the additional stuck in there. Because it's not like he doesn't do very high damage because he doesn't have multiplicative buffs, right? So I don't see any reason why he couldn't have gotten another additional anyway. His absorption/transformation condition. All we need is another 2 Android category allies in the team, and he will transform starting from the 5th turn. In conjunction with his abilities, you need either full target Goku or full Android for him to be effective anyway. So it's pretty much always going to happen. His link set is very good. Red Ribbon Army, Android Assault, Metamorphosis, Big Bad Bosses, Nightmare, Fear and Faith, Fierce Battle. Very strong link set. 12 key multiplier, of course, is 150%. And then Android 13, he does have a few categories here, but, I mean, we're mostly going to be utilizing this character either on this team right here. This is Target Goku. We could certainly use him there. He now supports Target Goku instead of just Android, which is certainly good. We could also potentially, well, this is movie bosses. If we were running a full lineup of like Target Goku or Android characters, maybe, but he mostly is just restricted to Target Goku and Android, right? Which is, I mean, it's fine. It's an easy ATUR, right? Like, I don't think it's smart to have too high expectations for some of these EZA characters. He's also on Artificial Life Form right here. He's also on Transformation Boost as well. Massive category. We're over here on the Power Absorption category right there. And then finally, he, of course, is on the Fused Fighter category. Okay, yep, not bad, not bad, not bad. And then again, remember, Android 13 does have that transformation. He will fuse and become Fusion Android 13 if we absorb, 2 other Android characters on the team, right? Then his super attack changes, passive changes, but none of his links change. Probably a good thing. considering that Android 13 does have the very strong link set, right? So now his super attack becomes the SS Deadly Hammer, which gives him 50% attack for 1 turn, immense damage, massively lowers enemy defense, and a high chance to stun. Now, if he was getting even 30% defense, he would be disgusting, but typically, you guys will hear me complain when a character doesn't have defense on super attack effect, right? Very common. But with this guy, it's a little bit different. Personally, my expectations for EZA TURs is not that, like, we're going to put them in front of physical fusions and monster super and they're living or something like that. Like, this guy will do his job, which is not taking damage from normals, right? So I don't really view this guy as not having defense right there as being some critical flaw or something like that. Because he already defensively should be at the point where it's only the big boss super attacks that are taking him out. And again, this is not a brand, like, look when this guy came out, like, it's not a brand new summonable character, right? Like, I think what the type of character is should, you know, sway, like, how the character should be, like, determined, their strength level, right? So, yeah, 50% attack, immense damage, massive lower enemy defense, high chance to stun. The stun, I mean, at that point is going to be worthless. He doesn't, I mean, it's cool he's got it, I guess, but right now there's nowhere we could take value out of that. His passive skill, target elimination. He gets 3 key and 130% attack and defense at the start of turn. Then he gets 145% attack and defense if HP is 30% or more. Then he gets 13% attack and defense per target Goku or Android category ally in the team. Whichever category has more members, he gets more buffs. He's got the guaranteed hit and disable enemy guard. Again, mostly worthless. Doesn't really do too much. Then the additional is now just in his kit. Additional has a high chance to be a super. And then against a Super Saiyan enemy, he gets 50% attack and a high chance to crit. And against a Goku enemy, he gets 100% attack and a guaranteed crit. So there we go. There is the EZA Fusion Android 13 and normal Android 13. Do I think that this guy is a loser? The answer is no. He is not. He is not the greatest ever, but I mean, a comparison to Jiren or Int Goku Black or something like that is just foolish. Like, this guy, like, is actually, I mean, I would almost say he's designed well. Can I say that? I feel like he is, right? Because you guys know I will pounce on an opportunity to say he doesn't have defense on his super attack effect. He's a loser. But, like, it makes sense. Like, it's not a problem here. So, like, I actually, as outrageous as it seems, I think that this guy is actually kind of well designed. He certainly could very easily be a little bit stronger, but, I mean, he's fine. I mean, we don't want to lose sight of the fact that he's supporting in base, man. Support characters who are good enough to fight the biggest bosses are so important. They really are. So, I'm actually kind of, like, I feel a little good about 13, man. I know it sounds crazy, but I do feel kind of good about him. So, let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys next time.